Welcome back. Now, nearly 2 years ago, on the 29th of July 2024, the world watched in horror as news came in from Southport that a mass stabbing had taken place at a children's Taylor Swift-themed dance class.
The brutal knife attack killed 3 girls and seriously wounded 8 other children and 2 adults.
Teacher Leanne Lucas was one of the victims who was stabbed 5 times as she shielded children from the attacker.
It was only months afterwards that Leanne discovered the weapon used on the day, which caused so much devastation, was a standard kitchen knife.
So, Leanne has now founded the campaign Let's Be Blunt, which wants to see dangerous blades used in the home up and down the country replaced with round-tip alternatives. She's joining us today alongside forensic scientist Professor Leisa Nichols-Drew. Good morning to both.
Yeah, good morning. Thank you so much for being here. And obviously, it was 2 years since that happened to you. It was an awful day. I just want to know, how are you doing at the moment?
It's a really hard question to ask, actually. I'm OK today, but every day is different. And as you could probably imagine, when your life just gets completely turned upside down, you don't plan for them moments. So, yeah, we take each day as it comes, and I'm just so grateful for the support network I have around me that keep me trying to be the Leanne that I am and I was, and I don't want to lose that part of me. So it is something that we work on daily.
So how are the events of the day, they're still altering, like changing your life now, yeah? How's it changed your life?
Yeah, so obviously now I'm very hypervigilant. You look at the world completely differently when something like this, because you never think it's going to be on your doorstep.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's changed dramatically. But what I've noticed throughout my healing was you do get this sense of drive for a purpose. So I just sort of looked and sort of let it happen organically on, you know, where did my passions and interests lie? And actually, after something so horrific, what could we now do to make a change? And I think that's something that really keeps me going in life, is now I can have a voice and we can use that lived experience to sit in conversations and be like, how can we make this better?
Yeah.
Why is this acceptable? Why is this happening? And, you know, really have an impact on the next generation.
And this came about mainly because, obviously, you had significant injuries, but this came about because when you went to trial, you didn't realise it was just a standard kitchen knife.
I was so surprised because media was telling me it's machetes, ninja swords and zombie knives. So when I saw it's something that I have in my own kitchen drawer, that's left on the side, that's in a school cooking class, that's on the shelf in the supermarket, I couldn't believe it. Like, the price that they're so cheap. They're at child level in the store. They're not behind a cabinet like cigarettes. They're on buy one, get one free. They're on special offer. I was like, oh my gosh, we actually haven't realised that the weapon most used when something sharp is used it's hidden in plain sight, because we actually use it as a cooking utensil, and that's its main purpose. But once that's misused, look at the travesty that comes from maybe a split second. And this isn't just about premeditated and events like that. This is about everyday crises and case studies, and we have them emailed into us regularly, where a moment of crisis, impulse or dysregulation, and if that kitchen knife's in the knife block or on the draining board or out in a community kitchen or in a lesson, then them 3 seconds are vital for when something could happen.
We were saying that this morning. It's like, how many kitchen knives have you got around your house, like there might be even blunt or something in the drawer that you wouldn't even know went missing, you know?
Well, yeah, do we actually take a minute to say, how many do we have? How many do our mums and dads have? How many does the school have? How many does the hospitals have? Prisons? There are so many places where this has become a set utensil that everyone needs, because the functionality is to cut, chop, slice your food. But what's happened over time is, for me, I used to see the kitchen knife as something we use to make a meal. What I now see as, actually, that's something that some people use or see as a form of protection. Maybe because they're in fear, or, you know, the world can appear to be a scary place on social media and on the media. So actually, in that moment, we have something within all of our households that is a threat.
Yeah. So tell us about this mission. It's called Let's Be Blunt. It's a campaign to kind of change people's ideas of knives, because we don't really need the pointy end, really. They can be rounded, isn't that right?
Yeah, so what we've discovered is we started off with an idea of something I was really interested in learning more about. And then it sort of just grew and grew into so many different avenues. So let's be blunt, it's about social and moral values. It's about cultural and behavioural change, what we've accepted as normal, and actually how society can make a positive impact on just questioning some of the normality that we've got ourselves into. And we have different arms of this campaign. So we have the rounded tip knives. We also look at safe disposal, because how do you get rid of a knife that you don't want? It's not easy. Yeah. We look at trauma-informed education. These people going into schools. Are we actually making awareness, or are we actually scaring the children about what could happen? Are we encouraging knife carriers there by making people fearful? And we also look at, accidentally, my journey on where did this positivity and hope and purpose, and I can use my voice now to drive change, where did this come from? And could we use that to help survivors and victims thrive?
Yeah. Leisa, you're a forensic scientist, associate professor at De Montfort University. What made you want to get involved with this? And tell us a little bit about the background.
So I've been working in forensic science since 2000, and I'd seen so many cases come through the laboratory where we're working on homicides or other offences. And although, as Leanne alluded to, the different types of weapons, the most common one that I would tend to see are kitchen knives. And this statement is supported by trauma consultants, judges, police officers. We'd all come to this same conclusion. And when we started to look at the data, that was supported in the statistics. And then myself and one of the police officers from a violence reduction unit in this country, Kaylee Walden, who has written the national plan for safer knife replacement schemes, we were introduced to Leanne last year. And so I've been researching this area of work since 2017, but to come into contact with Leanne and find that my research has got an outlet, and it underpins what Leanne's trying to say, and it provides the evidence.
So what do these knives actually look like? These
they look
rounded
like
blunt ends?
They just literally have the point removed, and they have a sharp cutting edge, because that's what we want for kitchen knives. And in the research study that I did, I compared your normal pointed knives that everyone might expect to see in their kitchens, and I compared them to these safer style knives without the pointed tip. And if you can imagine, even accidental injuries. So in the research study on the screen right now, the second column that people can see, there's no clothing damage.
And that's from the blunt knives, that second column.
Yeah, the second column is from the blunt knives, where if you could look towards the right-hand side of the screen, the fourth and fifth column are the damage created by pointing kitchen knives. Now, this is intentional motion. It can be accidental in the home. We know that there are accidental injuries, and we know that this is a public health issue because it impacts the NHS. Billions of pounds every year are, related to the cost of injuries, and that's the serious injuries, but also people that need life-changing care for the rest of their lives. And we all know how stretched the health service is. So what we've done as a community is come together, and it is a multi-agency approach, and it's one of many approaches to intervene and prevent. And you know, what we're talking about is reducing knife harm from kitchens where small children are, all the way up to the elderly and vulnerable people. There's not one group in our society that won't be safeguarded.
This is not the sort of thing that's going to happen overnight. So, in the interim, do you think there should be, like Leanne said, you can just see these knives kind of, so easy, so accessible?
Yeah.
Do you think there should be legislation to prevent that, make them more difficult to buy in the first place?
Well, what we're doing right now, we're trying to encourage legislation and tightening the availability of harmful knives, so people acquiring them. But also, when you think about it, in our vehicles, we have seatbelts, we have airbags. Those are safety mechanisms there to protect us.
And everyone got on board, didn't they?
They did.
Everyone got on board.
Yeah.
Wouldn't it be incredible if everyone can get on board and start changing even their household knives straight away? And we all do it, because you don't need that pointed edge.
Yeah, absolutely.
At all, you don't need it at all.
And it's become obsolete in our own home kitchens. And when you think about it, wherever you are, a workplace might have a kitchen, a village hall, a community centre, even houses of multiple occupants, community centres, you know, lived in residential settings like old people's home or children's homes. You know, what we're saying is let's safeguard everyone across society, because when people go on holiday, they go on an aeroplane, you say that you haven't got any sharp implements with you.
Exactly.
But in our kitchens, we've got harmful, that in a second can become a weapon.
This is a fantastic campaign, so much so we've decided we've got a kitchen here this morning. We're going to start using in this kitchen those blunt knives. So thank you for inspiring us as a team. We're so grateful. And look at you winning all the awards as well. You got a Woman Inspiration Award as well. Congratulations.
Thank you. And when I don't take these things lightly, but it gives a platform to the conversation, and it gives an avenue to have this awareness and these conversations, and they're so vital. We're so busy in our day-to-day life that let's stop for a minute and let's have a conversation about knife safety like we do fire safety. Let's have that the same, so that we can just sort of look at, you know, actually prevention is really, really important, and it might not ever happen to you. You might not ever come across any of this, but if you're aware, you're one step ahead of the game of, you know, can I make a positive impact to my community and the country I live in?
It's exactly what you're doing, Leanne. Thank you so much. Thank you, Leisa, for joining us.
Thank you.
We'll be back right after the break.